Good morning, everyone. Thanks again for joining us today for the Kentucky Innovation Hub quarterly update, brought to you, of course, by KSTC and KY Innovation. And together, we work to support our innovation hubs and the entrepreneurial support organizations, or ESOs, in every region across Kentucky. And today, we'll be providing the progress, the impact, and the outcomes of the Kentucky Innovation Hubs during the first quarter of our fiscal year 2025. So this will cover their accomplishments from July 1st of this year to September 30th. And as a quick refresher, our innovation hubs help and assist founders of tech and tech-enabled startups by offering 6 different services. They provide startup coaching to those founders. They're assisting them with accessing the right source of capital for their needs. They're introducing them to potential customers. They're making connections to various different mentors and mentorship programs. They're helping them to identify appropriate talent that may be needed by the startup. And of course, they make numerous strategic introductions to help with their networking. And through all of these efforts, our Kentucky Innovation Hubs play a crucial role in fostering the growth of startups. They're working to bolster the state's tech economy, and of course, all in an effort to cultivate a vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem. And we continue to remain dedicated to building on this success so far, but continuing to support innovators and entrepreneurs who are driving Kentucky forward with all of their ideas. So before we dive into the details, I'd like to highlight some of the key achievements in this segment, the State of Startups for Kentucky for the past quarter. And we generally always start with some welcomes, and we do have a welcome this morning. We'd like to welcome Justin Brown, who's been named the new Managing Director of Endeavor Midwest. And Endeavor is responsible for supporting high impact and later stage entrepreneurs in Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio. We have a lot of congratulations to share and extend to folks. Pebble graduated from the Built in Miami program this past quarter. Pebble received a certificate of program completion in partnership with Venture Miami and the Department of Economic Innovation and Development. We want to extend congratulations to Arat Aroma, named to the NVIDIA Inception program. Arat is focused on the neuroscience behind the use of certain fragrances from specialized candles. And they're also including components of machine learning and artificial intelligence in that venture. I'm so excited to congratulate Good Maps in using their artificial intelligence during this year's Olympics and Paralympics to help athletes not only improve performance, but also navigate the various different venues and locations, and especially those who are visually impaired. This past month, the Inc. 500 and Inc. 5000 list was announced in September. So congratulations to these Kentucky companies that made the top of the list. At number 122, we had Cornbread Hemp with over 2,700% growth. At number 127, we had True Diagnostic with close to 2,700% growth. At number 338, we had On Point Warranty Solutions with over 1,200% growth. And at number 1205, we had Pay HOA with a little more than 400% growth. Sunflower Fuels is an ag tech startup that's focused on renewable energy through biofuel feedstock production and carbon capture. And they were awarded a Bluegrass Ag Tech Development Corp challenge grant of $100,000 to support their seed round. And Hempwood also received a $100,000 grant from the same program to develop their natural soy-based glue that binds the lengths of the hemp fiber in a composite wood-like material. Congratulations to Akhil Suresh Nair with Xena Intelligence, who won a regional competition for the Startup World Cup in Cambridge, Massachusetts. He was one of 8 finalists after initially being chosen out of approximately 600 applicants and would be going on to the finals. Bumped Up Labs has launched a mobile maternity health lab and received an NIH grant award for $300,000 for continued research for their app. And Melanated Healthcare is a network of distinguished melanated healthcare professionals serving patients of color, and they have been selected to participate in the Techstars Accelerator. So congratulations to all of them. I'd like to extend my deepest thanks, of course, to the Community Foundation of Louisville, who announced their 24th year of the Vote Awards. And with the addition of 6 startups this year, we have one with us today in this year's cohort. Congratulations to Bestie, Echo Jobs, Nori, River Guide, SoFaBinks, and Value Buddy. They each received $25,000 in non-dilutive grant funding and recently presented their companies at Demo Day. We do have 2 exits to mention in this last quarter. So first of all, we have Worldwide Technologies in the Create region, who was acquired for an undisclosed amount by Nashville-based Quad Capital Partners. They're a manufacturer of precision-based machine parts designed for industrial applications. And now in the Amplify region, Venminder, developer of a vendor risk management platform designed to address the tactical challenges of vendor management tasks, was acquired for an undisclosed amount by Tennessee-based N-Contracts. On the capital front, the Innovation Hubs and I track investment activity in Kentucky startups, which means the number of startups funded, as well as the total amount that's invested in them. And since the start of the calendar year in January, Kentucky has had 58 startups funded with $95 million in early stage investment. And of note, this quarter in the Amplify region, AboutBit, led by Stacy Griggs, and provider of cryptocurrency, mining energy services intended to reduce the carbon footprint, raised $3.2 million of venture funding from undisclosed investors. And I'm really thrilled to share with you probably what isn't new news, but certainly did occur in this quarter. Covington-based venture capital firm eGateway Capital closed on their $94 million Fund 2, which it will use to invest in growth stage tech companies in the e-commerce and supply chain space. And more than 2 years in the making, this now stands as the region's largest fund. eGateway Capital also won this year's Cincy Inno Fire Award for Venture Capital Firm of the Year. And then finally, just to round out our update, I do have some hub news and some congratulations to share. I do want to wish congratulations to the Western Kentucky region Sprocket Hub leader, Monica Belak, on being recognized by Kentucky Inno as category winner of the Kentucky Inno Fire Awards Top Ecosystem Builder. And Amplify's Larry Horn was elected to be on the national board of INVIA, and he's currently at his first board meeting this week during the eBuilders conference. And congratulations to Dave Knox and the Blue North team on the groundbreaking of Spark House in Covington. This kicks off, I believe, a $16.4 million construction project of their new Entrepreneur Center. So with that, that concludes our State of Startups report for this quarter. And ordinarily, we would move forward and have a cabinet update from David Brock, who is the interim executive director of KY Innovation with the Cabinet for Economic Development. Unfortunately, he's not able to be with us today, but two reminders for everyone as you work with your startup clients. The application window for this round of SBIR STTR matching funds, it closes on Monday, October 28th. So please, if you have startup clients interested in those matching funds, to coincide with the federal grant they may have received. Please remember that deadline. And then also businesses interested in the Kentucky Small Business Tax Credit Program need to apply by November 1st. This will guarantee their review of their application and consideration for the 2024 tax year. And you can find information about both of those programs at kyinnovation.com. So keep those deadlines in mind. All righty. Moving along here. As you know, each quarter we work our way through our innovation hubs and their updates. You can see that we have our 6 innovation hubs that cover 120 counties with the work that I mentioned earlier in providing support for startup clients and helping them to advance their businesses. And with their reports, if we'll go to the next slide, there we go. This is what they're going to report on very quickly. They each have 5 minutes. So for this last quarter, they'll mention a startup win from the region. A couple of them have guest founders with us today to add some more color and context. They'll also report on their metric results for the quarter against their 12-month goals. I've asked them to just highlight 3 of the 9 metrics that we track, and of course, all leading toward the most important, the number of startups advanced in terms of their growth. They'll give us a highlight from an event from the last quarter, and then give us an update in a continuing strategic initiative that they have planned for this year, or that they're working toward in this year. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into it. I am very pleased to have, in this case, from Amplify, Jen Callahan, who's with us. She's Director of Business Development and Marketing. She's also their Chief Visionary Officer. And welcome, Jen. And I'm also so pleased to introduce to all of you, we have Amanda Mia with us, who is the co-founder of Bestie. And so I'll turn it over to you, Jen.
Thanks, Lisa, and good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to highlight Bestie as this quarter's success story. We at Amplify have had the pleasure of working with and getting to know Amanda, and we couldn't be more impressed with her and the mission of Bestie, which really brings innovation to an industry that has traditionally been neglected. Amanda, thanks so much for your willingness to join us today and talk a little bit more about how you worked with Amplify.
Great. Thanks so much for having me. Bestie started last year and we were immediately introduced to Amplify, and that really opened up our world. So the network introductions that we received helped us really navigate different areas where we could propel our growth. We received funding through the Vogt Awards, and so that was huge for us because we were in the process of validating product market fit and onboarding a new co-founder. And so we've had a ton of support in helping us hone our pitch, and that was great because Demo Day happened right in the midst of us doing a fundraise as well. And so we're just seeing a lot of movement right now in the process of going and going to market.
Thank you, Amanda. I think this is just a great example of the number of touch points that we can have with founders as a support organization, and really appreciate you taking some time out today to participate in today's presentation. In terms of key results, this quarter we were able to serve 302 startups. We're above our goal there. In the area of referrals, we do have some work to do that we're recognizing with some new efforts to track and new processes related to this. We do feel confident that we will be on track to be killing it next quarter. We do have a new operations person that's joined us that everyone will start to see more of. Her name is Laura Kenning. And in the area of advancement, we are extremely proud of the work that the team has done to get our founders to use the assessment tool. We have seen this be very useful in tracking the progress, to see how startups are advancing. And this was implemented in the Vote Awards program this year, where the cohort took the assessment in the beginning and then again in the end of the program. And we were really able to see from a quantitative standpoint the value that they're receiving in the Vote Awards program. Amplify's signature event, the Venture Connectors luncheons, we brought in David A. Jones Jr. He's the son of David Jones Sr., who many know as his legacy for the Humana, and also being a big part of the entrepreneurship efforts here in the Louisville area. Mr. Jones Sr. passed away at the age of 92, and during this event, David Jr. Spoke a lot about how the experience of caring for his father during those late stages of life have changed his perspective on investment and the future of healthcare innovation. It was certainly a very sentimental event, and one to remember. Thanks to a generous donation by Humana, all of the guests were able to take away a copy of the book. We have talked a lot about our efforts to improve ecosystem mapping, resources being available to startups and founders around the clock. It has been very important to the work that we're doing. It helps us scale the support that we can do here, as well as the new area development districts, including Elizabethtown. We're planning to launch a 2.0 version of our resource track and our AI-powered bot, Eva, in December timeframe. This will add new resources and include some of the resources that we're learning about throughout the new areas. In Elizabethtown specifically, where Steve Smith has been instrumental in identifying all of the economic development stakeholders in each county, we've been able to reach out to them, introduce ourselves, let them know about the new resources that are available. And then exciting news, in January, we will be launching an event with Middle Tech Podcasts to do a live podcast with an Elizabethtown area entrepreneur. So more to come on that. Stay tuned. And thank you so much, Lisa.
Great. Thank you so much, Jen. And we really appreciate the updates you all have been providing in terms of very creative and innovative ways to conduct outreach to reach an extended and larger region of service area for your founders. So thank you for that update. And thank you, Amanda, for talking to us a little bit about your experiences from Bestie with the Amplify Innovation Hub. All right, we're going to continue moving along here, and we are joined today with, or from Sprocket, Kaylin Thompson, who is Communications and Marketing Director for Sprocket. And we are really excited to also have Corey Payne, who is founder of UJoin, who is joining us today. So Kaylin, good morning.
Good morning. Let me share.
You don't need to share it.
Oh, okay.
We've got your slides for you.
Oh, great. That's awesome. This is my first time, so I'm a newbie.
You're great.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. And I'm Kaylin, the Marketing Communications Director at Sprocket. I'm excited to walk you through some of our highlights from Q1 and share what's on the horizon here for us at Sprocket. I want to first start by highlighting UJoin, which hit a huge milestone this quarter, and we were excited to have them on our podcast and YouTube channel, which we also launched this quarter. We interviewed Corey Payne, and he is here today. So Corey, take it away.
I was muted. Thanks, thanks, Kaylin. Thanks, everybody. I know about all the good work you all are doing, and it's been part of our success. We had a really good sales milestone this past quarter, and we're growing. We'll grow 30 to 40% at the end of this fiscal year, at the end of December, and it's just awesome. We made our third hire. It's a Bowling Green based college graduate. Really excited to also hire from within Kentucky, and we're gonna keep on keeping on. And so thanks again.
Thanks, Corey. And if you hadn't had a chance to check out that episode, it was a great conversation. And there's a QR code here so you can dive on in. And if you're feeling extra supportive, give us a like or 5-star review on iTunes. That always helps. Now moving on to our metrics. This quarter, we referred 49 startups to valuable opportunities, doubling our goal of 25. We had 3 startups, Hempwood, Data Rovers, and Prevent Scripts, secure funding. Hempwood received a grant from Bluegrass Ag Tech for its innovative sustainable wood product, and Data Rovers, which focuses on AI-driven healthcare solutions, got funding to relocate here to Paducah, and Prevent Scripts, a preventative healthcare app, hit a funding milestone as well. These companies are doing really great work. Overall, startups secured $450,000 in investments this quarter. Hempwood and Data Rovers together received $150,000 in grants, and Keyhorse Capital invested $300,000 into Prevent Scripts. This is a huge step for all of these businesses as they continue to scale and expand their reach. Now for our previous event, the West Kentucky Innovation Challenge, which I've got to see firsthand. This was my first year here to experience it. It was incredible. This is a 6-week launch pad for turning big ideas into reality. This 6-week program is really for people who are in the idea stage and getting their idea business ready. So it was a really great opportunity to see what kind of ideas are budding up in our region. This event was a really big success. It was our biggest cohort yet, with 35 people in the cohort, and it really brought out the best in our local entrepreneurs. We had participants of all backgrounds, all different kinds of ideas, each working to turn their idea into something real. And I'm also excited to say that we have many of them lined up to be in our first ever regional pitch competition, which is happening in November. It's going to be a really fun event, super supportive, really good vibes. A lot of these, or most of these participants have never pitched before. This is their first idea. So it's really, really exciting to see their energy. They're all so nervous, but so excited and so hopeful. It's really, really cool to be a part of. And I can't wait to see what they're working on. Looking ahead, we've got some really exciting things on the horizon. One of the biggest is our West Kentucky Virtual Network. That'll be launching soon. We're already building it. It's a free platform that's designed to support entrepreneurs by offering free educational programming, a job board, mentorship opportunities, and a community forum. We really want to make sure that entrepreneurs across our region have access to the resources they need, no matter where they're located. So if you're interested in being a part of it, I encourage you to join our waitlist. It's going to be a game changer for our community. And that's a quick snapshot of what we've been up to in Q1. We've seen a lot of growth and progress, and there's more ahead. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Kaylin. And again, I also applaud you for a lot of the virtual and tech that you're using to reach out to the vast majority of the startup clients in your region, a larger region as well. And how exciting, 35 in your Innovation Challenge cohort and now gearing up for a new pitch competition. So be sure to share that information with all of us so that we can look at our schedules. All right, we're working our way around the state, and I'm excited to welcome Buddy Steen, Program Director with Create in our South Central region. Hi, Buddy.
Hello, Lisa. Thank you. So CREATE stands for Central Region Ecosystem for Arts, Technology, and Entrepreneurship. And our first company is an entrepreneur and technology company. Kelly Wright, a co-founder, she just recently located her company in our collaborative smart space, and they do testing and development of all things. I mean, everything from advanced materials. Of course, you mentioned, Lisa, that one of our things that we do is strategic connections. And so we immediately, in fact, yesterday, she met with all of our laboratories here at Advanced Materials Institute, Applied Physics Institute, the Nova Center. And we think that she'll be a real boost actually for their public facing services. And so we're glad to have her with us. Yep. So metrics I'm focused on, we met with 136 folks. we've done a lot of events. We have an events and programs coordinator. They're very successful here. We've had 23 events in this quarter and 718 folks show up. The number of new jobs that's in our that's showing is 16. 3 of those are actually some nonprofits. So I'd say the net would be about 13 startup new jobs, which we're really happy for. We've got several folks that are pitching investors, and hopefully we will be able to show some numbers on our investments in the next report. We had mentioned we had several events. This was a leadership summit. It's one of the most advanced things that we've done since I've been back here 4 years. It was really a next level leadership conference. We've had people from all over the country come in. It was a 2-day event. You could see the stage set up right there at the Innovation Campus, and we had about 150 people that we counted over that 2 days. So we're really proud of that, and hopefully next year some of you guys can join us. Okay, so something very interesting happened to us this past quarter. Bowling Green was actually featured in what's being thought of as the #1 travel TV show in the world. It was sort of coincidence that we came up on the radar. We had some really good local folks go to bat for us, and this thing will actually start airing in every airport across the country. Our episode in the middle of November, right during Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so we're, like Lisa said, we're in the business of attracting talent. We need the attention of folks and the talented folks, and this kind of puts us on par with the Dubais of the world. And Bowling Green really is a great place to come. It's a great place to start a company, and we have a lot of strategic infrastructure that we put in place. And the Innovation Campus and Create was featured in that show. So Lisa, we hope to get some attention, get some good folks. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Buddy. And I know that you'll share with us where we can find that particular episode of Global Child TV, and we'll be eager to catch that, as well as hear from you, hopefully the next time around, in terms of the impact that made in terms of talent attraction for you. So thank you for sharing that, Buddy. As we continue in the central region of our state with Lexington, we've got Garrett Farbach, who is director with Awesome Inc. Welcome.
Hey, Lisa, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. We'll get things kicked off. But first, Corey, Amanda, good seeing some friends on this call today. Glad you're here. So the startup we're going to highlight is Swell, and I got a couple of fun facts I'm going to be reading. So if I'm not looking at the camera, that is why. But Swell's been in the Awesome Inc. pipeline community for the past year and is a spring 2024 fellowship company. And so I asked Rachel to send over a blurb of how she's been helped, and she said this: the monthly accountability meetings with Awesome Inc.'s fellowship program force us to look at what's not working and pivot more quickly, and pivot more quickly than we were last year. So we're now contracted with 4 more insurers than we were 6 months ago, which was a critical cash flow issue we had to solve. And I don't know that we would have done this before the fellowship because we were too focused on the initial ideas to see the opportunity in front of us. And then another exciting piece is that they just hired a new developer that was a graduate from the boot camp. So Rachel is not here. She's working with Caitlin, who she just hired, and helping her get onboarded. So we're exciting. But again, just a cool couple pieces that she's been in the Awesome Inc. circle for the past probably year or so. October 5 Across 2023 pitch competitor, was an Awesome Fund applicant as of this year. Spring 2024 fellowship cohort company, was at the summer retreat, which I'll highlight in a couple slides. And September was a great month for investing. So we'll talk more about that momentarily, but we're just excited to see that there's a lot of promise with companies from Kentucky. And so we get next slide for metrics. There we go. Here's a snapshot of Q1 against all of the fiscal year 25 goal. But the ones I'm going to highlight are the startup connections. A huge one came from our summer retreat that a handful of the folks on this call either made invites to or showed up. I know Larry was there, and for the first time this year, we did something cool that got the founders and mentors and investors there a little more hands-on with each other. And then for the next 2 ones I'm going to highlight are the startups funded and the amount invested. Swell had a phenomenal month. I'll just say that. In September and into October, along with Wicked Technologies and a couple other companies. And we're just seeing a lot of promise with companies that are growing and bringing dollars here to our state. And the next slide, again, I've mentioned Summer Retreat twice now. We do this every year. It's an annual trip for founders from all across Kentucky, and now maybe folks who have relocated to come back to Kentucky and get some time sharpening iron, as we like to say. And one of the things that we changed up for this year is we have a handful of sessions, but for the first time we did a mentor one-on-one. So we had about 12 different companies and 12 different mentors, investors, just sit down and essentially do a speed dating, coffee-like interaction. And so there was a lot of cool conversations. I got to just be in the corner and take notes and kind of facilitate, but just to watch how people left the room, left the event with their heads raised a little higher, their spirits lifted, just getting some one-on-one intentional encouragement. That was pretty exciting to see. And then for the last slide, so one of the new initiatives that we have been working on is how we're trying to revitalize some younger entrepreneur talent coming from universities across our state. So we have Mackenzie Haynes, the fabulous Mackenzie, on our team, who has changed roles as of late. And she has a background actually working in academia previously before coming to Awesome Inc. And so she's going to be our partnerships manager, facilitating some of the pre-existing relationships we have with the universities listed below to help bolster those programs. And then there are universities that we have to instill some new relationships. And again, it's just to help pipeline of talent. You know, Corey just mentioned that he had a hire from a Kentucky university, now staying in Kentucky, and we're trying to keep that to be a very common thing for all the startups that we work with. So that's it for me. If you got any questions, reach out. Happy to help. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks so much, Garrett. And we certainly welcome Mackenzie to the Awesome team. And as she also continues to work with you all in extending your service reach throughout the Awesome region. So thanks so much for that. All right, and now we have Sabrina McWhorter, of course, Director of Business and Innovation, representing our Eastern Kentucky region with SOAR. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning, Lisa, and great work to all the fellow hubs. I love getting to see, the cross population of clients throughout all the different hubs. So it's super exciting. Today, I'm really honored to highlight Complete 3D. So Complete 3D helps professionals leverage additive manufacturing to enhance their craft. They offer strategic advice, sell machines, maintain 3D printers in the same similar model as Xerox copiers do. As this technology is still new, Complete 3D helps customers get started and ensure the long-term success through a lot of consultation and one-on-one support. Their clients not only save money, time, but in some cases, they also save lives with additive manufacturing, which is super cool. Eric Sparks here. He is a Manchester native and a former coal miner, and now he's an additive manufacturer engineer, and he really envisions Kentucky as a hub for additive manufacturing, and he really understands that transition from technology with his passion using 3D printing to create high-paying jobs here in Eastern Kentucky. They recently won the Startup Appalachia Pitch Competition. They just opened their storefront at the University of Kentucky, and they hired a new manager for that location. Our team's been working really closely with Eric, Cindy, and April to expand into Eastern Kentucky even more through strategic connections. Most recently, they toured the University of Pikeville and BitSource, while also being featured in our Innovation Alley just last week at the 2024 Summit. And we're the featured speaker on the Middle Tech podcast, Where Are They Now?, which was just a recap of our Startup Appalachia Pitch Competition winners. So Complete 3D is making some significant progress in education, healthcare, manufacturing are their main priorities, and creative entrepreneurship. So I really look forward to sharing more updates soon because they are growing quickly. For the next slide, I want to call out 3 of the metrics. So startups referred, startups funded, and new jobs created. Our team has been deeply engaged with our partners to support local businesses, which has really allowed us to focus more on those high growth tech-enabled startups. And one of my personal opinion, one of Kentucky's greatest strengths is the diverse startup support network that we have. And we're committed to helping founders find the right connection quickly instead of having to get caught up in any red tape. I really appreciate that the Kentucky Innovation Hub offers value to the ecosystem by acting as that switchboard operator, directing founders to the right resources. And again, this not only benefits our startups, but it greatly strengthens the entire ecosystem as a whole. The other metrics that I would like to highlight, and Lisa, you've already talked about it a little bit, but startups funded and new jobs created, which of course usually go hand in hand. So for example, Sunflower Fuels recently secured investments from the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund, as well as the Bluegrass Ag Tech Development Corp. And these funds have allowed them to not only hire their chief ag officer, but also move forward with planting their first crop here in Perry County. And it's just, again, a shining example of how investment enables businesses to expand and create jobs. Our inspirational speaker series has demonstrated strong community engagement with 83 total attendees, highlighting the growing interest in entrepreneurship in our region. And more importantly, it's pouring back into those future entrepreneurs of our region. Eastern Kentucky is suffering from a lot of out migration. So we're hoping to catch people while they're young, really give them a reason to stay and create more pathways that they can do so, that they can live at home and still grow and scale a business. So this quarter, we hosted 2 events, one at Morehead State University, where we featured Kyle Caudle, owner of 4C Innovations and A1 Implements, and then Ashland Community Technical College, where we featured Kyle Robinson, owner of Print My Threads. And you might recognize him from the video from the Cabinet for Economic Development with the small business tax credit. So gentle nudge, everybody, get those applications in. These events are definitely a top funnel activity for us. They help build that community, draw out the startups, and then once engaged, we can expose them to the additional offerings such as ideation workshops, startup sprints, and the services through SOAR Innovation. And we are currently building out our new online community space for entrepreneurs and technical assistance providers, replacing our previous self-service platform. The new platform will remove barriers related to large service territories. I think we all face that sometimes, offering digital access to educational courses, live events, resources, and personalized pathways for entrepreneurs. So while the progress has been slower than expected due to some in-house development, as well as onboarding 2 new team members, which we're excited about, we've been focusing on making the platform truly useful before launching it into a broader audience. Some clients have already been piloting the service and their feedback's been very invaluable. But one key lesson, it's a reminder to us all, focus on creating a product that truly meets the needs of consumers rather than rushing to meet a launch deadline. This experience has reminded me of the advice I often give entrepreneurs: get the product right first. When you deliver something valuable, the demand will speak for itself and the launch will naturally follow. So that's it from us. Thanks for having us, Lisa.
Thank you, Sabrina. Very well said. And again, also creativity in how you're reaching out to the broader SOAR region to connect resources to your founders. Thank you for your updates. All right. And then finally, we have Dave Knox, who is Executive Director in our Northern Kentucky region with Blue North. Lots of excitement and exciting news coming from that region. Welcome, Dave.
Hey, always good to be here. Happy to bring us home. So thank you, everyone. So first off, want to start with one of our most recently funded companies, Builder Backed. Super excited for what these guys have done. Paul Koop is the founder of the business. I actually first met Paul just about 1.5 years ago, right when I was starting in with the Blue North role. He was at Quotient Technologies, was one of their best salespeople, and had this idea that he wanted to launch and use it to leave big corporate and kind of go take his entrepreneurial journey. The support of Northern Kentucky actually made him decide to move the business to Northern Kentucky instead of launching it in Cincinnati. So great win for all of us. And he just recently closed a $2 million round of funding. And most significantly, it came with both an angel investment and a strategic partnership with Fisher Homes, which is one of the top 30 home builders in the country that is going to help them launch this business. So this is one we're super excited. And also they are one of our first tenants that we'll be calling Spark House Homes. So it's a double win for us in a lot of different ways that we're super excited. So that's the story of Builder Backed. On the metric side, this quarter's been an interesting one as we balance one of our initiatives we'll be talking in a little bit, but also breaking ground on Spark House had our team just a little bit busy, to say the least. But with that, a few things call out. One is that on startup investments, with Builder Backed and others, we had really great progress. We all know how difficult the funding environment is in venture capital at the moment. but we still got about a third of our way towards our goal for the year, even though it don't go being just a quarter. So super excited by that. We would love to see the volume in number of those startups increase versus just the dollar sizes, but we'll get there as we look at it. The other one is we've really been focused on the new businesses created and attracted. We've had some really great companies that have been working on their ideas and decide to finally take that leap and make it a reality, and also ones that we've been attracting in. So we're pleased with kind of the progress there. And then, finally, as we look at the startup served, our mission end of the day is one-on-one support. And so this quarter, we really rolled out different ways to do that. Our EIR program has continued to be an invaluable one that has really helped. We've had 2 EIRs that have been doing our one-on-one meetings. And that is the tool that we're finding actually the most directly impactful for the Startups Advanced, is getting that one-on-one mentorship and saving somebody 10 hours of work that a 30-minute meeting can help them accomplish and get through and break through the roadblocks. So that's what we got going on there. Next slide actually talks about one of those EIRs. So one of our theories of how we've approached entrepreneurs in residence is about taking amazing leaders that are at an inflection point in their careers and trying to get them to help us out a little bit and use Blue North as a home. One of those over the last 6 months has been a gentleman named Brent Gravely. So Brent has actually been the global head of sales for Cliff Bar. Joined that, worked his way up through the company, and has really become one of the best sales leaders in the CPG space. And one of the things we asked Brent was that the art of selling goes beyond just how do you sell to customers. For startup founders, it's about how do you sell investors on your vision? How do you sell employees to take that leap to join you on the crazy journey that you're about to go? How do you get customers? All the things that goes into it. So Brent was able to do a workshop series that was a 4-part series between Blue North and Centrifuse that was that hands-on training to think about what you can do with sales, how it can impact your business, and really how can you be better at selling yourself, your company, your product, and everything that goes into it. This was a very successful one. It's one we're going to be, we've recorded some of the content. We're working on producing that right now. And it's going to be a workshop that we try and repeat in multiple ways going forward. Especially now that Brent has actually gone on to his next journey, where he's now the chief operating officer for a company called Egg Life, I believe, that is up in Columbus, Ohio. So he still calls our area home, but he's served his tour of duty helping us and stays as a mentor across the board. Next one. And then the final thing that took a ton of effort for us in planning is our annual Brand Fusion event. This is the one that really makes our metrics look really, really good. So our next quarter slides will blow away a lot of our numbers. But this is an annual event that took place October 7th and 8th as our way to kick off the time in the quarter. We had about 37 Fortune 500 brands from across the country fly in for the event. General Mills, Ford Motor Company, go down the list of those that flew into the region for it. We had 50 venture-backed startups that joined us. About 90% of those actually came in from across the country, from top-tier venture firms. Many of their investors joined them. And we curated north of 440 individual one-on-one meetings in this Startup Served, and including some great involvement from some of our, across the Commonwealth companies. Xenia, who was mentioned earlier, was one of our key participants. Had some great traction. We think some great customers that are going to come out of that. And really a great event that, we do this, one, to support the local companies, but it's also one that shines a spotlight of why this region is such a great place to do business. We had a lot of companies that flew in from San Francisco and New York, and their comment time and time again was, this is a place that customers are at. Some of those towns might be great for the talent of developers or others, but the customers and the revenue, which is the ultimately most important thing for a business, they were amazed at how much the Commonwealth and the Midwest is such a key area for that, and the openness of when you're in somebody's backyard doing it. So it's an economic development reason that we do this event that has that double-sided benefit of hopefully supporting our companies locally And if we've done our job right, we're going to see some distributed offices open for many of those companies as well. So that's what we have technically coming up, but has already happened with a lot of follow-ups right now.
Thanks so much, Dave. I know that we certainly want to extend our thanks and gratitude to Brent Gravely. I love that you continue to build that bridge back and forth between, Columbus, where he is now, and where he calls home in Northern Kentucky. An exceptional sales skills series, which was very well received, and so pleased that that'll be able to be repeated going forward. And I also want to just mention, maybe there's a great connection we can make between Amanda with Bestie and Brent and the work that he's been doing. There could be some connection there. Thank you for the update on Brand Fusion. As you said, planting the seeds for long-term economic development. Certainly well understood in the big picture. All right, friends, that's what we've got for today. My goodness, I applaud you on record speed and keeping everything very succinct and to the point. I want to thank Corey as well as Amanda for joining us as featured startup presenters today to add some additional flavor to this month's webinar. Our next Startup Resources series is next month, Tuesday, November 19th. And then this particular webinar, which again, I want to remind everyone is open to the public. Anyone can join us to hear from our hubs and their quarterly updates, is scheduled for Wednesday, January 22nd of next year. So I encourage you to invite your startup founders, your advisory boards, your area development districts, your SBDCs, your other service partners in your region to hear these very succinct, insightful updates talking about your larger initiatives, your results to date so far, and again, how founders are directly benefiting from the service that you do provide. So with that, we'll close it out. Thank you, everyone, and I look forward to seeing our hub directors next week on Wednesday. We'll be meeting in Lexington in person for our quarterly in-person hub directors meeting, and I will send out that agenda to you. We have a full day. Thank you so much, everyone. Have an awesome day.